Hi guys, this is Mrs. Henson, and today we're going to talk about sentence pattern 11. Okay, here's our objective. You'll be able to use dashes and parentheses judiciously. The word judiciously is super important because you have to make sure that your mark of punctuation has the effect that you want it to have. So we're actually going to start off by watching a YouTube video, and it answers the question, what kind of an oral cue does a dash provide? Use the search terms on the screen, pause the recording, watch your video, come back, and we'll check your work. Okay, here's our first checkpoint. Answer the following questions in your handout. I'll be circulating to see if you need clarification. Be ready to show me your work. Okay, here are your questions. Which mark sets off information emphasizing it? Which mark sets off information de-emphasizing it? Finally, which mark sets off information and kind of keeps it the same? Okay, hopefully you answered. A dash emphasizes, parentheses de-emphasize, and commas keep it all the same. Now, let's JFK our style. What do you think was JFK's favorite mark of a rhetorically significant punctuation in his inaugural speech? Probably guessed that he liked to use dashes. He liked to be dramatic. In just a single sentence, we see that he has 4 sets of dashes, as many dashes as he has commas, which is really unusual. He even throws in a colon. Now the colon is the most emphasis, but the dash is right behind it. Now let's begin your packet. Go ahead and turn to page 65. Make sure you have a highlighter. I want you to examine it. Read over page 65. There's some examples. When you get to the examples, highlight them. Pause the recording. Answer the questions below. What patterns do you see? Do you agree with the author's choice of punctuation? Did some information really deserve a dash, or would you have put it in parentheses? And resume the recording when you're ready to continue. Okay. Now let's get down to our analysis. Turn to page 66. You're going to see this sentence. I want you to examine the sentence carefully. Pause the recording, jot down at least 2 sentences, analyzing the author's choice of punctuation. Remember, punctuation is part of syntax. It simply reinforces the author's meaning. Resume the recording when you're ready to check your work. Okay, now hopefully when you're reading it to yourself, you heard this kind of a voice in your head. It is still possible to live like a Maharaja, although it's not quite as comfortable as one might wish. Simply book passage on the Maharaja of Jodhpur's private rail car, the last royal train remaining in India. Okay, notice what's in parentheses is kind of like under your breath. But the colon makes you raise your voice again, and says, this is super important, that explanatory sentence. Okay, let's do our exercises. Go to page 67. We're actually going to start with number 4, the sentence that reads, the new computer programs. You're going to fill in that interrupting information. Let's look at an incorrect way to do it. We've got 3 items. Notice how they're not parallel. An expensive bookkeeping program, World of Warcraft, another video game. It's confusing. So make sure that your items are parallel. It needs to look more like this. An expensive bookkeeping program and 2 popular video game titles. Now, I want you to pause the recording, add 3 parallel phrases inside of the parentheses. Practice that parallelism. And continue the recording when you're ready to resume. Okay, now let's try number 1, my Christmas gift. Now what you're going to do is you're going to add the interrupting information in between the commas, then you're going to finish out the sentence. Don't do this. My Christmas gift was. It's not interrupting information, that's your sentence. It needs to sound more like this. My Christmas gift, a cheap wooden doll, sat abandoned in the corner of my room. Pause the recording, complete the entire sentence, and then resume when you're ready. All right, finally, we're going to complete number 2 and number 3. We won't be completing number 5. Adding a single sentence would stand alone if you took out the information set off by dashes. Here's an incorrect example. The glow from her dewy face was radiant, like the fire of an opal. She was mesmerizing. It's not an interrupter, this is a complete sentence after the dashes. It needs to sound like this. The glow from her dewy face, like the fire of an opal, was mesmerizing. Okay, pause the recording. You do number 2 and number 3. Come back and resume when you're ready. All right, time to do a checkpoint. Let's get down to work. Get out a clean piece of paper, write your MLA heading on it, title it Sentence Pattern 11. You're going to write in ink, double-spaced as always. Then create your first sentence. I want you to use commas this time. Set off interrupting information. Have me initial your work. You must make sure your sentences are 20 or more words. Create your sentences around whatever our assigned topic is. Use your markup punctuation judiciously. Once you have my initials, you're ready to get the rest of that work knocked out. Your assignment, you're going to do 6 sentences total, 2 with commas, 2 with dashes, 2 using parentheses. Do not forget the criteria and make sure it's proofread, get that turned in by the end of the period. And thank you. Have a good day.